Hello, Instagram. How we doing? Hey. Hello, Facebook. How are we doing? Whoops. All right. Accept. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
How are ya?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Your hair looks super blonde and bright.
I'm here
Looks
for summer.
how
I'm good. How are you doing?
good. Hey, Nana. Hey, Gwen. Hey, y'all.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Welcome. All right, I'm just checking into Facebook and let me see if I can add you to this one.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
How's y'all's day going so far? Okay, let me see here. Live interactivity. Okay. Hey, Facebook. Mm, Such a beautiful day today, Gwen says. Yeah, it really was. Not as humid as last week when we tried to do this. And I was sweating to death. All right. Um, hey to the folks that have joined our Facebook Live. Nah, we haven't done this before, so I'm trying to figure out how we can add bottom into this one. Do you happen to see me live on Facebook?
I don't see you live. I see you. I see your story saying you'll be live in 20 minutes.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. That's on my personal page, right?
No, through Sacred Lotus.
Okay. Can you can you see my personal page by any chance? See if we can figure this out. Hey Kadeem, welcome. Hey Cat Grant, RMT. Hey Nicole. Hey TEDx. Hey Halifax Health and Wellness Show. Bronco Power. Sandra. Welcome everybody. Glad to have y'all.
Are you live on Facebook?
I am. I am. But if it's not showing up on your end, what I might have to do is, yeah, I wonder how we can invite you in. There has to be a way. Okay. I think what we'll do is I might just leave the Facebook one
Yeah, we're
and
here.
then yeah, we'll just stick to Instagram and then upload this later. Bye, bye, Facebook. Oh, see you. Hey girl, it's been a while. I know. Facebook, I wish we could stay, but we can't figure out the text. I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to upload this. We're gonna have to upload this later.
Afterwards, that totally works. We go
Yeah,
with the flow.
we'll go with the flow. Absolutely. All right. I'm gonna close this off. Facebook, we will see you later. Alrighty. Bye. Bye, Facebook. All right. Hey, Instagram. We guys got our full attention right now. And what we'll do is we'll upload the recording to our Facebook and to our YouTube later on, and then you'll be able to watch the replay if you're not catching us live. But yeah, welcome. I hope y'all had a good week so far. I'm definitely excited for this episode. How's your week, Autumn?
My week is going well. Um, my little guy, Zenon, he started daycare this week, so it's been a bit of an adjustment.
Yeah.
I had like the full intention of getting a lot done this week, and, like being productive and all. Having him in daycare and having my other kids, the two girls, having like camp and daycare as well. So that was the intention, but it just
Yeah.
feels like when we finally like sit down and realize all the things we have to do, it's like, whew, that can get overwhelming really quick. And it's like, how do we
How
prioritize
do
our
you
time and
prioritize?
all things? And then the sun is shining and I just want to be outside and playing. So
It's like the natural instinct. It's like just screw all my responsibilities and the sun
yes,
is out. I just want to take my kids and go. Like
yes,
that's what it feels like. How I
totally.
feel. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited for this episode around how to reclaim our life with through spontaneous joy. And I can't wait for you to share um, a little bit about your story. And yeah, let's jump right into it if that's okay.
Totally.
All right, awesome. So, Autumn, grateful to have you here. Thank you for joining us tonight. And like, yeah, super excited. And like I said, even though we didn't get on Facebook Live tonight, you can definitely catch the replay on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram as well. So, if you're here for the live, welcome. We're definitely grateful that you decided to spend your Wednesday night with us. Um, and as always, we do love engagement. So if you have any questions or you like what's being said, please feel free to send a reaction. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if anything's resonating. Even if something's not resonating, let us know. We just love to kind of hear what you guys are thinking, what's going through your heads. Um, and with the theme of tonight, um, let us know if you're able to find joy day to day or if you're struggling with that right now. Do you find joy is something that is easily accessible for you day to day, or is it something that you constantly feel like you're just like searching for and chasing after and can't quite grasp it? Let us know how accessible joy is to you right now.
Such a
And
good
while you do that, I want to welcome you to this show. Welcome to the series, which is Reclaim Your Life. We are helping you take back control, get back in the passenger seat, and in a world that constantly demands so much of our time and attention, it's incredibly easy for us to get lost in the shuffle, as we know, and get in that passenger seat. We can feel stressed and overwhelmed and burnt out. And that's the whole reason why we created this series, particularly in the summer. Like, we don't want to waste our only summer good months in Nova Scotia feeling stressed and depressed. We want to enjoy. We want to take back control. Um, and so today we're doing this. We're going to go into a deep dive with our guest, Autumn. And she's going to help us do just that. So, again, thank you, Autumn, for being here and agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much. It's honestly such an honor to be here. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Let me introduce you for folks who don't know who you are. I have your bio right here, so I'm just reading straight off of it because you're my friend and I know you as one way, and then I'm like, oh, you're actually a professional and you do a lot of amazing things as well. Yeah, so Autumn Grant is a devoted mother of three. She's a meditation guide, a master's student in counseling psychology. And as the founder of Flow Meditation and Wellness, the co founder, he believes mindfulness is a powerful path to a happier, healthier, and more meaningful life. She's a certified mindfulness meditation teacher and a yoga teacher, and she blends evidence based practice with somatic wisdom to support nervous system regulation, self awareness, and joy. Autumn is rooted in simplicity, and she finds inspiration in everyday moments, from exploring nature with her children, cooking nourishing meals, and traveling with curiosity. So, whether she's guiding a meditation, leading a retreat, or holding space for heartfelt conversations, she invites others to slow down, reconnect with themselves, and discover presence with warmth, intention, and ease.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm like reading every line. I'm like, yep, yep. This is definitely Autumn.
It's
One of my one of my core memories is Costa Rica, that retreat that you led.
yeah,
Um, how many years ago?
that was like 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
Girl, that was a core memory for sure.
Yes, same. That was such a special time, and we reference that retreat often. It was very, very
So
time,
good.
time to go
Yeah,
back.
yeah, please. I remember I was going through like a time then, and me and Mara were when you're raising teenagers, we were just not on the same page. And then I was like, you know what? Autumn's doing this thing. Like, let's go check it out. And like, we bonded so much. And like, Mara bonded so much with you and like with everybody there at the retreat. And it was like it was so good. It was so perfect. So,
That was so cool because it was like quite secluded, and we were all just like kind of the group of us in this beautiful little place in
yeah,
like Costa Rica. And we had the ocean on one side and the mangroves on the back, and it was just a small resort with a really beautiful group of people. And you like that's just like the essence of life, in my opinion, when the stars are shining so bright and you can see the sunrise and the sunset from the same place, and just it really just forces you to slow down and reconnect to yourself and nature and others, and it's really
yeah,
profound.
the simplicity of it and just the wholesomeness of it all. Like, it was beautiful. Yeah. So thank you for your work. You're definitely doing God's work, and thank you for your reminders to slow down and live simply. And now you got to teach us about joy and how we can, take advantage of that in the summer. Uh, so, first question for you: could you start by telling us a bit about your areas of expertise, like with mindfulness, meditation, and yoga, and what initially drew you to this field?
Hmm, great question. I think when I go back, I think back to my time after high school. I felt like I wasn't ready to go to university, and I just had this like intuitive feeling that I wanted to explore the world. And so at 17, I moved to Florence, Italy, and I was an au pair for an Italian family. And
Mm,
it really changed the trajectory of my life and really showed me what it meant to enjoy life and just sit down and enjoy the simple things, from sitting down as a family 3 meals a day to sailing in the summer, skiing in the winter, and just really having this like beautiful appreciation for life and all that it has to offer. And the mother of the children, her name is Lucia, she had a very strong like yoga and meditation practice. And so I was 17, fresh out of high school, had just like left home, and we when I first got there, we moved to the sailboat for the summer, and so we sailed for an entire month straight, and I didn't have like any access to like my phone or like emails. There wasn't even like I think like Skype was just beginning that year that I had moved there.
Probably, probably Messenger. We were messaging at the time, doing Messenger. Yeah.
And I became so disconnected from like everything really, and it was just like plopped into this like whole other world that I had never been exposed to.
Yeah.
And Lucia, she would like sit and practice yoga on the front of the boat every morning and evening, and she would invite me sometimes to practice with her, and that really changed my life. And so I stayed for a year, and I looked after the beautiful children and had like such an incredible life experience that year. And then I came home and started practicing yoga with my mom, and
Wow.
just with the practice. And it took me a long time to like feel like I actually wanted to teach. It wasn't actually until I was living in Vancouver, like 5 years later, I was working as a people and culture specialist at the Lululemon Lab.
Mhm.
And as a part of our schedule, we were required to go to a meditation studio as a team once a week. And
Oh,
and
what a
so we
nice workplace policy. That is incredible.
for
Yeah.
For sure. And I was like, thought it was like kind of cool in the beginning. Okay, like sweet, we'll get our team to go. And some of our team members were more hesitant. But then as we started to go on a consistent basis, we all honestly noticed like such transformation in personal lives and our professional lives and like how we work together as a team.
Yeah.
And, um, and I was like, okay, whoa, like we're all just like ordinary people doing our thing, living life. And if we are all just like blown away by how this practice of meditation can change our lives, not just when we're having that like, half an hour meditation session once a week as a group, but like noticing how we respond differently when we're like off of the cushion and how we become more creative. It's like
Yeah.
then more people need to know these practices that we have,
Mhm.
the power of our breath and how it has the ability to calm our nervous system,
Yeah.
so many things. And so that was kind of the idea. And then I like recently after I got pregnant with my first daughter, who I named Florence,
Yeah.
after profound experience.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Wow. Okay. Very nice. Now I
Yeah.
know.
And it was like, yeah, it was an unplanned pregnancy, and um, it was hard. It was really
Yeah.
hard, and lots of like different dynamics, and just like such a desire to like make things work and want everything to be okay. And
Yeah.
so um, we moved back to Halifax. Well, like I moved back to Halifax with Flo and Jonathan, and we were like, okay, let's see if we can like share this practice with our community.
Mm. So you guys,
So
you guys had both worked at Lululemon doing the mindfulness together,
yeah,
right? Okay, so it was like something that you were both really passionate about.
yes, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
So then we moved back and we decided that we would open Flow Meditation and Wellness. We had a brick and mortar on Argyle Street back in 2018 when we first opened.
yeah,
And we had set out on a mission to create a happier, healthier, and more connected society through mindfulness.
yeah.
And the goal almost 7 years later is really to continue to like make these practices more accessible to everybody.
Yeah, I remember when you guys opened up. I was on Spring Garden or like Brenton or around there.
Yeah.
Argyle. Okay, yeah, and I was like, what is this like new meditation studio here? Because we've never really had a space that was like dedicated to like mindfulness and meditation. I feel like it was like newish as far as like the mainstream wellness. Like people probably doing it privately in their homes, but we didn't really have a space to like cultivate that, like that mindfulness through meditation. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I just loved how you guys were marketing it, and like there wasn't very many inclusive spaces, and you guys were like really intentional about how you market and how you invite and how you make it um, accessible to everybody. And I was like, okay, let me come check you guys out. And then we met at one of your meditation circles at the practice in Dartmouth. And I just remember how many people were there, like mostly women, but just like so many different walks of life. And like Bahia was there, and I was like, whoa, this is like a really powerful, beautiful space. And I've just been grateful that, you've kind of continued on and
Yes.
doing
It
the
was,
work that you're doing.
remember that day vividly, like seeing you walk through the door and just like feeling such a beautiful energy from you, and like I wanted to be your friend.
Aw, like
Glad that,
my friend. Yeah,
yeah, that
no,
was really amazing. We had
yeah,
like we were sell out of those circles just before the pandemic. We mat to mat, like squeezing as many people as we possibly could through those
yeah.
doors, all in the name of like community and healing and all that goodness.
I think when your intention is pure, like people can see it. Like you don't really go into this type of work for the profit and for like, trying to make a lot of money. It's like I actually really struggled. I overcame a lot of BS, and this is how I did it. And I found so much peace in it and healing in it. And now I want to share that with the world. It's like it's more of like a personal passion, and it's really pure, and I think people can see that with what you do. So how has let's switch gears a little bit away from like the mindfulness and the meditation, and kind of tap into the spontaneous joy topic.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and yeah, I think I mean, you've gone through stuff, I've gone through stuff, and like I think it's really easy to get stuck. Um, and I shared this in the last show, but just like in constant survival mode and like constantly on the defense. Even when you're in a safe space, it's like hard to kind of let your guard down. Sometimes that's what I've experienced, um, and like through kind of like cultivation and practice, like you move from this place of surviving to thriving. And I feel like that's that transition from like you know, being so deep in the weeds of the work to like now experiencing like all the goodness that life has and that joy has. But with this topic of like spontaneous joy, like how do you find that that's showing up in your life right now compared to maybe like how it was?
Yes, totally. And even when you were asking initially, like, okay, what originally got me into mindfulness and meditation? And obviously, my story starts where it did, and with like opening flow meditation with Jonathan, and we had such like uh, an impactful beginning. And yeah, life is hard. We, 3 kids later, we separated, and it isn't easy. It hasn't been easy. Separation is like awful for everybody. And then like throw a business in the mix, and it's just like, okay, like what is my story now? And like, yes, those are my beginnings with the business, and that is no longer. And it's like, is it a rewriting, or is it just like a continuation? And how do I like frame that in like
Yeah,
public eye, even? Because there's been a lot of like heartbreak and pain, and at times I have and have just like wanted to like hide and be like, okay, like it's done. But I'm like, no, this work is so powerful, and by no means is it not done. And I think I used to reference myself as like a mindfulness expert, and I'm like, no, this is a constant practice.
Yeah.
You know, mindfulness is like there's no way that I could ever really be an expert in it. I know about it and I'm learning more about it. And I think that the most profound thing is the life experience that is like constantly testing, the practice of what it teaches. And so I think for me, going through, some really hard times, um, and learning that, things fall apart and we pick ourselves back up in our own ways, our own times.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like we, as a society, I find tend to like get caught up into feeling like things have to be like perfect and aligned and completed, or we have to like get to this certain point um, in order to like be happy or feel those joyful moments. And it's like, my life over the past couple of years has been felt quite chaotic.
Yeah.
I have a new life right now. I have a new life that I have. And
Yeah.
it's more than I could ever have imagined
Yeah.
before, but it's different.
Yeah.
And at times it's chaotic, you
Yeah.
know. I have a beautiful, wonderful new partner who we have 7 children between the two of us.
God
We're
bless all
in
of
the
you.
blending our families.
Yeah.
And okay, like, no, we don't need to like wait until like X, Y, and Z is like finished or we're living in the same house. It's like we're in this now and it feels at times an ambiguous space. And so for me, it's like, okay, how can I just like not be so future focused that I'm missing out on the moments? Because the children are young and they're only young for such a short time. And I know that these years are fleeting and these are the years that I'm going to look back on. And they are so formative in the children's development that it's like, it's so important to be present. And
Yeah.
if we're not finding joy or we're not finding peace where we
Yeah.
are now within all the chaos that's happening,
Yeah.
whether it's like, micro or macro level, then, it's going to be miserable.
Absolutely.
It's been a big goal and focus of mine to be super intentional with my time and my thoughts and my energy and where I want to place it and
Mhm.
on where I am, but also like really pushing myself to be what's the right word? Yeah, to meet myself where I am, but not getting like caught in this like space where I feel like I can't move forward in the most effective way for myself and my kids.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head when you were just talking about like how it's so chaotic nowadays, but I feel like I'm approaching the chaos in a different way. Like the things that maybe used to break you and like tear you down, because I was in the same position, like,
Mm-hmm.
having kids and then not working out with their dads, and then there's a lot of heartbreak with that, a lot of shame with that, and like you just like you pick yourself up and you realize like how resilient you are, and then and you're right, like this is the formative years for the kids. Like, do you want to stay in that space of like constantly, being upset about it, or like, being like heartbroken about it? Yeah, dwelling in the past, or um, do you develop like, some resilience and then find that peace and find that joy in the day-to-day moments? And it looks different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had someone here that says, I would not say it's easy to feel joy, but I find it gets easier by practicing gratitude every single day.
Gratitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And then making a choice. Like I think sometimes it's hard for us to wake up and feel in a good mood. Like I don't always wake up and feel like I'm in a good mood. Like, but I like happiness sometimes is like a choice. Like I have to wake up and be like, okay, I'm not gonna let this bother me. Like I'm gonna focus on this, like rather than this, and I'm not gonna answer these messages. I'm not gonna answer these calls. I'm not gonna like respond to this type of negativity. Like you have to make like little choices every single day.
Every single day and like multiple times a day.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
because people will try you. Like people will try you. So
Those
what is what's that?
And it's having those boundaries, you know? I'm
Absolutely.
My battery's draining on my phone, so I'm just gonna
Oh,
switch
please do. Yeah, no
it
worries, guys.
live. Can join a quick click. We can continue the conversation. I'm here.
Okay, you're gonna plug in.
Yes.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, no, I was really liking what you were saying. Like you really, especially with with your kids, like you want to create memories and like joyful moments for them now because it is the formative years. And I know you shared a story with me about like what your guys' summer plans are, and I'd I'd love for you to share because like how brave, how inspiring, and like how embodied is that when it comes to spontaneous joy.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably a little scary too at times.
So the other day, um, the kids are just waving.
Oh, hey kids.
One moment.
Oh,
We're good. Can you hear
and
me okay?
yeah, I can hear you. Is that
Okay.
Flo?
It was Iris just blowing me kisses. Good night.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Yes. So anyway, our summer plans that I shared with you the other day. Um,
Yeah,
I had shared earlier that we're in the process of blending families with my partner, and we aren't like quite ready to like make the move in together yet.
yeah.
Um,
Iris, I love her.
okay, we're good.
Oh, I was watching your stories of her the other day, and I was like, she's such a fireball. She has so much energy and like so
She is.
vibrant.
She is
Oh,
just something else. She's so special.
I love her.
um, Thank you for your patience, everyone.
Oh my
So
God.
anyway, yeah, we're in the process of blending families, but like obviously not rushing into things, and so just like really listening to like what is best for everyone, and taking your
Yeah,
time with it. We've been together a year and a half now, and so like not officially have made the moves yet. And so anyway, we have like lots of beautiful plans for the summer, like together, some separately, and we're going like camping, and we have a couple other trips booked, and I'm like taking the kids to Vancouver to see their dad because he moved back to Vancouver, so we're gonna go out there for 10 days. And so that being said, we also spend like a lot of time at my parents on the lake,
so nice.
and and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rent my house out for the summer, and we're gonna have a bit of a nomadic summer. It felt
That
very
is so
fitting,
epic. Like with
having
three kids,
some.
7 kids, like with 7 kids, like you guys are incredible. Brave for that.
Yeah. And so really for me it's about like finding that balance between structure and I'll say going with the flow.
Yeah,
We obviously have our things and our schedules, but I didn't sign the kids up for like any sports. This summer I was like, I really want to let go of as much scheduling as we
yeah,
possibly can for these 2 months of the summer that the kids are out of school. Um, and things like change all the time. Like we can fill our schedules with all these plans and all of these like wonderful summer lists of all the things that we want to get done.
Yeah.
And it always just seems to fly by. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
else can relate, but for me in the past, like summer just flies by. It's so
Yeah.
fleeting.
You try to cram
And so,
everything.
what's that?
You try to cram everything in such a short amount of time and
We
it gets
try to
hectic and
we
chaotic.
try to cram everything. And
Yeah.
so the idea is to really just like schedule as much of nothing as we can amidst these
Love
like,
that.
yeah, and just really checking in on a daily basis of
Yeah.
what we need and where we want to be, depending on the weather, depending on like our mood, depending on like what's of interest at the time. If we plan too much in the future, then I find that we get, once that time comes, or if we have something booked, how many times do you book something and then once it actually arrives, it's like, man, I really don't feel like going, or I would rather
Yeah.
be doing this. And
Yeah.
not to say that we can't, do that and follow through with our commitments, because that's, of course, is like so important.
Mhm.
But I think that we overschedule way too much, and then it learns to lean. Then it leads into like, guilt or frustration and burnout and all of these things that are just disruptive to our nervous system.
Mhm. Oh, Mama World said, I love this autumn, less of everything.
Less
Yeah.
of everything. Less of
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, and that was it too. Like, just getting down to the bare minimum of what we really need and what's important. It's not all of these things, it's not all of these toys, it's not all of these
Activity.
plans.
I know. Yeah. I
It's like,
love.
let's just be. And that's
Yeah.
like the most amazing, joyful thing that we could possibly like gift,
Yeah.
each other, is our time
Sometimes
and
you have to like
presence.
schedule nothingness. Like sometimes I
Yes.
have to be like, okay, this weekend I'm busy doing nothing. Like I can't accept any plans. Like I'm not
Hmm.
really gonna be on my phone like this. Like I have to literally block out everything. And sometimes because I'm such a scheduled person, 'cause it's like
Hmm.
appointments here and meetings here and
Hmm.
deadlines here, like I have to
Yes.
literally be like, no, this day, like this, these couple of days is just blank. Like
Yes.
we'll go to this campground and like we don't have to do a bunch of activities. We don't have to like drive everywhere. Like we're just gonna sit here and
Yes.
just be like
Exactly.
just be.
I once heard that like 25% of your time, if you can schedule 25% of your time to do like, well, nothing, or schedule nothing in, and then that leaves room for, choosing what to do in the moment. That leaves, I think, 2 weekday nights and like a weekend day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a
Yeah.
good chunk of time. And then it's like, it doesn't mean that you actually have to do nothing when you're scheduling in
Yeah.
nothing,
Just
but
space to breathe. Just
it's like,
space
okay,
to
like
breathe.
what do we need right here where we have this like block?
We could say, but we can't figure out the tech and making a choice. I think sometimes it's hard for us to wake up and feel in a good mood. Like I don't always wake up and feel like I'm in a good mood. But I like happiness sometimes is like
Like lots of beautiful plans for the summer, like together, some separately.
maybe like time, schedule, but no, this day, like these,
And so the idea, it's like, it doesn't mean that you actually have to do nothing when you're scheduling in
yeah,
nothing,
just
but
space to breathe. Just
it's like,
space
okay,
to
like
breathe.
what do we need right here where we have this like block of time? How
Yeah.
do we want to fill it? How are we feeling? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? Where do you want to be?
Hmm. Yeah. And when it comes to some of the challenges they think people are facing when it comes to embracing like spontaneous joy, what do you think some of
Mhm.
those challenges are? Like we touched a little bit on like maybe like time, schedule, but um, what like can you elaborate on those a little bit?
For sure. On some of the challenges, I mean, like everybody's so busy,
Yeah,
and I think that it actually has to like it requires a lot of effort to create that space And it comes with like a deep awareness
Mhm.
of like noticing when you do actually have those times, and like having the mindset that will allow you to like, get up and go and like do something that is going to spark joy, or go and choose to like go out on like an unplanned adventure and like see where that ends up taking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It requires a sense of like bravery. Um, and yeah, and I think that we can often get like caught in our comfort zones and just like not wanting to take risks or do something different, or it would just be more comfy to like hang out on the
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah. No, I like how you said that it is work. Like it's actually you do have to be intentional about it, just as intentional as you are with like, scheduling a doctor's appointment or, doing this or doing that. Like you really do have to put an effort to create these moments for joy.
Yes, and in Italian they say "la dolce fare niente," the sweetness of doing nothing. And
Oh, I
so just
love
having that
that.
as like a little block in my calendar is
Oh,
because it
I love that.
can be so sweet.
I love that. I love that. And I think like the other challenge too, you touched on is like the comfort thing. Like we want to be in our comfort zones. It's really hard for us to let go of control and be spontaneous. Like I struggle with that because I'm like, well, who's gonna be there? Like how much is it gonna cost? Like how far is
Yes.
it? Like, you know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes, and that's another thing too is, we tend to just like go towards things that cost money when we don't have to. There's so many things that we can do that nature provides.
Absolutely.
It's so healing. Doesn't cost a thing.
Yeah. And summer is the time to do that because we have such access to such beautiful things as far as like nature goes and landscape. And this province is so vast and so beautiful. Like we really don't
Hmm.
have to go far. Someone said here from one of the challenges is from trauma. So each challenge sends me back a little. It's easy to forget that there's joy in each day. Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree. It is really easy to kind of um, get stuck in the trauma because we're so used to um, just like being in that cycle and those thought patterns that we have and those behaviors that we have. And it is easy to forget. And I
Yes.
think just like Autumn said, like it is work. Like it's intentional. It doesn't come naturally. It doesn't come easily until it becomes second nature. But that comes with a lot.
Yes, and it's like when those triggers do arise, it's like, okay, that is a good indication that it's time to like pause and like stop and like really check in with yourself and your surroundings so that you
Yeah.
can actually like begin with the smallest of steps to rewire your brain and essentially. And
Mhm.
so when you're noticing those triggers come up, it's like, okay, that's good present moment awareness. That is an indication to pause and maybe just like take a moment to check in with your five senses, or just note and label what's happening like around you, and just like take a few breaths to calm the nervous system down. And then it's like, okay, what small step can I take right now or today to like support my well-being?
Yeah, absolutely. I know you touched on this a little bit around like the idea that spontaneous joy or being in the moment sometimes like needs to cost a lot of money. But like, what are some of the misconceptions that you think people have about spontaneous joy and finding joy in the moment, being in the moment?
I think that a common misconception is that like you have to have your shit together and you have to like, be happy.
Yeah,
Right? It's not like happiness is fleeting, just like pain and like suffering. And I think that one of like the best things that you can do is when you're stuck in a rut or feeling down or anxious is to actually just like remove yourself from that situation and like get into, like, if you can, like go and get like into, go for a walk in the woods, or go and like jump into the lake or the ocean. We're so blessed with all of these bodies of water and
Yeah.
forests around us, and when we
Yeah.
can like remove ourselves, the best thing I can do for myself when I'm cranky is to go for a walk in the woods or just like
Yeah.
dive into the lake.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think about my own like mental blocks to spontaneous joy, and like it's that control thing. Like I'm like, well, am I gonna like make it, or who's gonna be there? What's it gonna cost me? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like what about the kids? Like what about their nap times? What about their bedtimes? Like who's gonna
Yes.
eat this? And like
Yes.
what if so and so doesn't like us being there, and like someone has something to say,
Yeah,
and like,
I know.
like it's just all these reasons why we can't, and all these reasons why not, but all we need is just that one yes. And it ends up being fine. Like who cares if the kids eat like, whatever, like all
Yes.
night long, like hot dogs and marshmallows, like for an entire night. Like it's okay.
And exactly. And these are some of like the most amazing, core memories that they'll like when they look back on their childhood, be like, yes, like my mom
Yeah,
let me stay up until dark and eat marshmallows and
yeah,
like
yeah. Like raw
fight her dogs all
uncooked hot
night.
dogs because we couldn't get the fire to start. Like that was us the other night. I was
I
like, yeah, let's go do a campfire. Have no idea how to start a fire. Like got the most randomest stuff to try to start it, and the fires wouldn't stick. Like I should have really watched a YouTube video beforehand, but the fire the fire was not lasting. We had these raw hot dogs, and they were getting black on the outside, but not actually cooking, and they
Yeah.
tasted terrible. But like it was
Oh,
a
they
memory.
have
Like we
so
talked
much.
about it for days.
Yes. Good for you. I love that. I love that so much. And I feel you like every day I'm faced with that. It's like, oh, like, the kids have had like later nights this week, and I'm like, oh, like tonight I really want them to get to bed on time, you know?
Yeah,
And then it's like, oh, but we were invited to like a little like pool party down the street. And then it's like
yeah,
it's a constant choice. And it's like,
yeah.
what's more important right now? And there's no
Absolutely.
real like right or wrong answer. It's like, okay, like just being able to check in and be
Yeah,
honest and being like in alignment with your
that's such a
values
good
and like
point.
what you want. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be every choice to choose, oh, like spontaneous joy every single time I can. It's
yeah,
like, no, but like those
yeah.
times that we do, it feels really special.
Yeah. No, I like that. What's most important in this moment? Like, is it the fact that I really need to see my friend because I'm having a tough time, or the fact that, it's gonna cost me $20 to get there? Do you know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
like, is it that I really, need to be by the ocean, or is it that like I feel like I don't have enough time. By the time I get there, it's gonna be this time, and like, what is most important right now?
Yes,
Like
right. And
that's
it's
the
like,
simple
yeah, and
question.
having the foresight to be like, okay, so if they do have another late night tonight, what are they going to be like tomorrow? And is it worth
Yeah,
it to keep them
yeah,
past their bedtime again? Or maybe that spontaneous joy is being like, no, we're all going to bed early tonight, and that's going to be the joy.
yeah.
Because we
You
all,
guys will go to bed, and I'll have my joyful night by myself.
yes, yes,
Sometimes that is the choice we need to make.
for
Um,
sure, for sure.
no, I love that. And then the money thing, like
Mm,
joy doesn't cost money. Like
no,
joy is not meant to cost money. It's an internal thing that,
yes,
we need to cultivate. We find ways to cultivate.
totally.
For folks who are wanting to experience spontaneous joy or take steps towards like being brave and making those decisions in the moment, what are some like actionable steps that you would recommend that folks can do right away? Really easy.
Hmm. I mean, keeping in mind like accessibility, I think that it's important to like do a little bit of research on what's around you. If like, vehicles are like not possible. It's like, okay, what is around you that you can access?
Yeah.
Would probably be the first thing. So like what my go-tos might not be the same as everybody else. Some of my favorites are like what I had mentioned, and I can recap. You know, I love spontaneous like picnic at like sunset at the beach. Just bring a
Yeah.
blanket and some snacks, or you know,
Yeah.
pick up a pizza along the way if you can, and not have to worry about like getting
Thank you.
everyone dinner
Thank
pop.
you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like stepping outside and going for a walk, leaving your phone behind, having maybe like social media free like evenings, or being okay with missing out on something and just like staying home and having a cozy night in, or you know, I really try to get outside as much as I can,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in the summer. What are some things for you?
Listen, I there's a few things I like. I love being by the ocean. I love snuggling up and
Yes.
like watching, just random stuff on YouTube or listening to a podcast. Um, I'm big on like let's go for like an ice cream, let's go on the trail, let's ride
Yes.
our wheels, like our scooters, and just like go to the waterfront, go out. I'm definitely a big nature person, or like let's go visit family. Because I find sometimes I isolate myself for no reason, and I'm like, why am I sitting here feeling lonely? I have family that lives here. I have friends that are nearby. Like, what is this? What is this loneliness? Like, it's not cute. I don't like it. I don't want to feel it. Like, why am I doing this to myself? Like,
Right.
I'm blessed with a village and with people that want to spend time with me and that I
Hmm.
really enjoy it. I think sometimes I do get overstimulated a little bit, especially when you have like three kids and they're running in different
Yes.
directions and they're jumping on people's furniture and they're like making tearing it up and like, I'm like, okay, we'll stay for
Right.
5 minutes and then we're gonna go. I think that's like a self-conscious thing, but yeah, visiting people that I love, like going to stop in my parents' house or, visiting my brother and his family or like
Yes.
talking about my friends. If I'm in the area, like I might just call someone randomly and be like, yeah, are you home? Or like, what's going on? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I resort to just like going and hanging out with my parents and my brother and his family like more
yeah,
times than not, because that's like those are like the simple things that mean the most to me. It's like it's family, it's supper. Oh Mama World just mentioned supper together. It's like that's
yeah,
a core value of ours, is like every night that we possibly can, which is probably a good like 5 days a week. It's like we make supper and we sit around the table together and we like
love
chat
that.
and we talk about our day, and it's
Yeah,
nourishing and it's like in season, and it's just, yeah, it's just that togetherness, and you
yeah,
need to have your community, and
yeah,
we've become like separated more than what I liked. And I think it's, yeah, it's really nice to if you do have that, and that's something that you want to nurture, then
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
taking those
You can,
opportunities to
you can
lean
always
on
go to
your
Autumn's
community
house.
and your village. Hmm.
Let's say that again, sorry.
I just said, like, taking those opportunities to nurture those relationships and
Yeah,
leaning on your village, and, you know, eating together.
absolutely. I just said you can always go to Autumn's house because you guys have
No.
like
Yes.
you have an open
Open
door.
door policy, always.
You guys have the best. You guys really do have like really great dinners and everyone's around the table and I like watch your videos where like everyone's dancing and like from
Yes.
your mom to like your grandma to like the
Yes.
grandkids to like the babies. Like it's such a beautiful space.
Thank
Um,
you. And that reminds me, there's nothing better to spark spontaneous joy than a dance party.
yeah,
Just
honestly.
put on the song, especially when things are feeling pretty like icky and sticky, and just dance it out.
Yeah.
It's like there's such a it's so powerful just to turn up the music and let it all out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, we did that a few times in Costa Rica.
We did. We
Oh my gosh.
did.
we were in a restaurant, and for some reason there were like poles in the restaurant. I don't know why. It was a family restaurant, and then we just everyone just started dancing around the poles. The kids like were around the poles. It was so
In the middle
funny.
of the day.
It was in the like bright afternoon. It was so funny. Talk about
It was
spontaneous
the
joy.
airplane restaurant.
Yeah, it was an air.
And see,
Like
that was
why?
like probably the best experience, or one of my best memories of that Costa Rica retreat was
Yeah,
pulling over, popping in for the watching that sun. Actually, it was like the middle of the day, and we just like got a couple
yeah,
drinks, and we all just started dancing.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, so
Impromptu
fun.
dance party.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there is something to that movement when things are feeling stagnant or like I find like when everyone's in a mood here, like I'll just okay, let's put on some music and you just start
Mhm.
dancing and moving and it gets the emotions flowing and it gets everyone just in a better mood. Like
It
it's like a way to
does.
act like it activates it instantly. Like
It does. I
instantly.
know. And the kids just like the kids actually put the music on more than me now. We have like our little Google, and Iris will always be like, I think you probably witnessed her. She's like, oh, like, hey Google, play this. And I think that Zenon's first word was honestly, okay Google. Go up to the
Okay,
speaker.
cool.
No, okay Google to like get them to
Okay,
play.
Google. That's hilarious. Best friend is Alexa. That's how we first
Yeah.
got Alexa because Mara was like only child, very talkative, and I was like, listen, actually, his stepdad, the twins' dad, got him an ex Alexa. He's like, Nat, you have someone to ask all your questions to. You have someone to
That's amazing.
conversate with when nobody's available to talk to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a great technology. Um, yeah, there was a comment here about joy comes in the moment. I stop and breathe and give gratitude for where I am in this moment. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Joy, joy is in listening to the birds around me, going for walks, waves, sounds, even just supper on the patio together.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Eating outside, there's nothing like it. It's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. Hello Siri, play XXS by XXS. Yeah. Yeah. Play whatever by whatever. Yeah, no, I love it, and I think another practical step that I do because it's sometimes hard to think in the moment of like what's bringing me joy, especially when you're overwhelmed and you
Yes,
have a
that's
lot
such a
of
good
things.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like really hard to be like, okay, what do I need right now? So something that I have and I often like teach folks to do is create a coping kit. So this is like
Mm,
things of like maybe like some chocolates or some candles or things that make you feel good, and then
yes.
a list of like maybe places you like to go or people that you like to talk to that really bring you
Hmm.
joy, so that when you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't have to think about it. You can just
Yes,
go to
I
your
love that. That's such a
yeah,
good idea.
yeah. It's like a gift to yourself and like
Yes.
real like self care,
For
proper.
sure. Or another idea is like, with the kids, whether it's like March break or summer, we get all the kids to write what they want to like do, what their like bucket list is for
Yeah,
like the period of time. And then we try to like schedule one of each kid's things. So we get,
and
lots of things to do, but another idea is to like put it in like a bucket, and then whenever you have like room or time in your schedule for nothing, then you can pull out, and that's what
yeah,
we'll
that's
do
what we'll do.
together.
Yeah, this we'll try this week or we'll try this next
Yeah,
week. That's a really good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Kids laughing. Someone says kids laughing brings me joy. Absolutely. Oh, the big deep belly laughs. I love those so much. Okay, so what excites you most about spontaneous joy?
I think like the opportunity for curiosity. For me, like travel's been a huge part of my life, and then like it's really important for me to try and expose my kids to that like that feeling of like exploration and like curiosity and learning about like the world and people and you don't have to like go far to
Yeah.
like to access that.
Mhm.
And I think it's like trying new things. I think that, you know, we don't have to get too deep here, but I feel like life is really like meant to be experienced. And I think that when we can create room for spontaneous joy, then we can create space for those moments of exploration.
Yeah, that is very deep because I think sometimes we no, but we do life completely like backwards sometimes. Like we're just focused on like people pleasing or like, getting work demands done or just all the things that when we're no longer here, like it's not going to matter when we get older. Like,
Yes.
what are we really going to look back and be like, okay, these were like the special moments? Or like, how do you want to remember your life? Like, how do you want to look back and be like, okay, this is how I lived. Like, this is what I
100%.
experienced. Like, I was brave and I made the choices that were not always easy, but they allowed me to like be full, like be fulfilled in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
really good. So to wrap things up, um, what's one piece of advice that you can give to our listeners for how to reclaim their life through spontaneous joy?
Mm. I think the hardest part is like like creating the space and choosing it. It's a choice. And so, you know, we have like this space where we have that awareness and we can choose instead of just like becoming distracted with something else. When we like have that like light bulb moment, it's like, oh, like I could do this in this moment. It's like just go for it. Just
Yeah,
go for it and give it a shot, try it and see what ends up happening and how you feel, and let
yeah,
that like guide you. And always tune into like yourself and your needs, and see ask yourself if it's, you know, a limiting belief, or if it's like feeling like, okay, what's on the other side of like my comfort zone today,
yeah,
and having that like courage and that bravery to like give to try something new, to go somewhere new, to, you know, have a new experience. And
yeah.
I think that there's a lot of beauty in that.
We grow so much through those new experiences. Like we grow so much when we're outside of our comfort zone and when we break out of like the day-to-day routine and the rigid schedules. Like when we experience new things and say yes to things that we haven't done before, like that's where growth happens.
It
Like,
is
right? Versus like staying stagnant and staying comfortable. You're just kind of moving laterally, but you're not really like blooming in the way that your full potential is asking you to do. So,
totally, and like we said earlier, start small. It doesn't have to be like big, grand, or audacious, but just like let yourself be free and like
yeah,
dance, like scream it out, scream out the joy, like just like feel what it feels like to like be fully alive.
thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for that reminder. No, honestly, that's really good. And I think I'll take away asking in the moment, like, what's most important right now? Like when you're faced with a choice of like, do I do this or do I, take this risk or, if so and so is not going to be happy, like what's most important right now? Like what's the big need right now? And like what are you willing to maybe fall short on or
Mm-hmm,
compromise in the
mm-hmm.
situation
Yes,
to focus on the big picture?
absolutely. And one last thing that I will say is that I work a lot with guilt. I feel like I always just like have this guilt, this whether it's like fear of missing out or fear that I'm not like giving my all to each thing. There's like lots of things that, you know, are important to me in my life right now. You know, my kids, my work, my school, and my relationships. And so it's like I feel like my time is like so full, and that I
Yeah,
feel this like guilt often that I'm like I'm not doing each thing well enough, and that just like ends up in like such a vicious cycle of,
yeah,
you know, leading to like not enoughness and eventually burnout. So it's like just meeting yourself with like presence and kindness and compassion. And then like also like once when you have like that space to give yourself a little push for that spontaneous joy and that curiosity.
Absolutely.
It feels really good most of the
Yeah.
time.
I've never regretted saying yes to an adventure. Like I've always
Yeah,
regretted saying no. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
some things
As
can't,
hard
some
as it
things
is
make
sometimes.
something. Yeah, and I think there's this lie about balance. Like I don't think there's ever any balance. I think what ends up happening, like, you have to compromise on something. Like
Yes.
something's gonna fail. Like something's gonna
Oh my
fall.
gosh.
You can't
And that's
juggle
all a
it.
part that's all a part of like the lessons. If we are like going out and like having these adventures and it doesn't always go as planned, it's like, okay, so then what? Then that's
Yeah,
another choice that you have. And it's
yeah,
like, and then just like coming like ending in gratitude for what it
mm,
is.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
so many lessons to be learned in it.
yeah.
But it's really beautiful.
It
If
is.
anyone wants to go on an adventure or pop over for a swim or go for a
Yeah.
walk in the woods,
Listen,
then I'm here for it.
I'm in. I'm definitely in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and for reminding us like the importance of joyful living and just making the choice in any moment to say yes to joy, to adventure, and like break away from these expectations, whether it's from ourselves or from other people. Like
Mhm.
that guilt or those like those narratives that we tell ourselves, like reminding us, thank you for reminding us like what's important in the moment and that we always have that choice. So
Yes, absolutely.
thank
Thank you so much for having me and for putting on this summer healing series. It's such important work that you're doing, and so many people are feeling supported by you and all of the wonderful work that you do. So thanks for having
you.
this platform and for inviting me in. It means so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Yes, I think there's so many takeaways from this. So really, truly, thank you, and thank you for being brave and sharing, being vulnerable with us. I really do appreciate that.
Thank
And for all the
you.
viewers that joined us live, thank you for joining. Thank you for participating in the conversation. If you didn't catch us live, you can catch the replay on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And if people want to follow you, Autumn, how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, totally. You can follow me at Flow Meditation. That's FLO Meditation, or my personal Instagram. It's Autumn AVT VMN. I'll be getting back into the community, teaching some like meditation and yoga classes. A little like combo special that I have planned, as well as hosting a retreat in PEI at the end of September. And
Yeah.
my way to becoming a therapist. So lots of like offerings upcoming, but would love to stay connected. Get in touch.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Can't wait for the retreat. And I hope you have a great night. We'll be talking.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.